All right, let's get into it. It's Critical Listening, episode 18. My name's Max Alper.
And I'm Liz Pelly, and yeah, we're back with another headlines episode for May 2026.
May 2026. And just for the sake of time, we'll get right into it. We have two dooms, and we're bringing back a bloom. We have one bloom scroll for today that we're saving for the end. It's a brief one, as there hasn't been too much actual headlines on this, but we have an official press statement from a company that has been around for many, many years that we will be discussing briefly. Yeah. Starting with me, we get to talk about music tech from the instrument and software musicians side of things. Normally, we're talking about the market and the distro of the recording industry itself. But today we're going to be talking a little bit about the instrument, software, and hardware side of things. I got an article from Engadget titled "In Music Will Acquire Native Instruments," putting it under the same umbrella as Akai. And for those that are producers, engineers, music technologists in general. This might feel like a long time coming, considering some background on this to start. So, just to give a little background, in January of 2026, this year, the German music tech mega conglomerate Native Instruments had announced that it had entered into insolvency proceedings in German court. I had to look up what insolvency proceedings were when this happened, but pretty damn similar to bankruptcy proceedings, as we would call it in the United States. But yada, yada, yada. It meant that it had a lot of debt and it had been leaving their investors holding a bag that they weren't very happy with, and not a lot of return on investment. So the majority stake, I did some research on this. The majority stake in Native Instruments, massive, massive company, but their majority stake was held by, you guessed it, a private equity firm
Mhm.
called Francisco Partners. And they were most likely the ones that were pushing for this full corporate restructuring. And there had already been a massive round of layoffs before the pandemic, actually, before the zero interest rate policy completely disappeared between 2019 and 2020. There was already some signs of trouble in paradise. So Liz, I don't know if you were aware about Native Instruments prior to this story, but they had built quite the rep amongst us music tech people as even amongst smaller plugin developers as the big dogs, that if you were making plugins, if you were making third party music software, you were hoping for a buyout from these guys. These were like the big guys. It was always just like, well, if we succeed, then Native Instruments is going to come a knocking and offer us a couple mil and some jobs.